Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Siriana Tarot. This is going to be a reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. This is a general love and romance reading. And I just want to extend a huge thank you and send you guys a warm virtual hug for everyone who loves and supports my channel. And for those of you who are new, a very, very warm welcome. While I'm doing this reading, I'm just going to ask that you guys go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, comment, share, ring that notification bell if you guys want to get updates whenever I upload anything new. And without further ado, let's get into this reading. So we're going to choose an overall message for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Some of you may already know Virgo is my rising sign, so these messages are for me as well. Okay, let's go ahead and see Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. February 2020, love and romance. All right. So your card is Kamala, enlightenment, mindfulness, rise up. She who emerges. All right, I am doing this reading on February 1st, and that is, tomorrow, I believe, is the pagan holiday of Imbolc. And Imbolc is all about emerging. It's the exact midpoint between the seasons. So we're halfway there to spring. And it's all about what is about to emerge. Being in that soft sort of liminal space when we have, for example, seeds and seedlings and anything underground that's still kind of in the darkness, that's getting ready to emerge. Okay, so emergence is a theme that's very, very important for us in this reading, and then also at this time period. Okay, so I love how that resonates. Okay, so now I'm going to pull, Virgo, some tarot cards. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to ask our angels, our ancestors, our loved ones who have passed, and our spirit guides, what messages do you have for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs for February 2020, love and romance? What messages do you have for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, February 2020, love and romance? Messages for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, love and romance, February 2020. Some of you might be on the precipice. You guys might be on the verge of starting a new romance or taking your relationship to the next level. All right. Your overall energy, the Hermit, that's Virgo. 10 of Swords. 6 of Cups. The Empress. The Queen of Wands. I'm just going to push this up a little bit. The Queen of Wands. The 8 of Cups. All right, and the 7 of Swords. All right, Virgo, I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing here. The overall energy at the bottom of the tarot deck, we do have the wheel, and the wheel is any sort of change in fortune. I don't read the wheel differently if it's upright or if it's reversed, because it means that there's a change upon us, right? And it's all about your, karmic activity. What goes up must come down. There are ebbs and there are flows. And right now there might be a bit of an ebb in your life, or it might be feeling that way. And I can sense that in the reading so far as well. But what's kind of beautiful is it's kind of like I'm getting this message, like it might not feel that great right now, but it's actually for the better. So this really nice. We have the Ace of Cups, which is a blessing. It's the start of a new love, but this is in reverse. So again, it could be something that started and then stopped, or it could be, for example, with this cup in reverse, things are flowing out. So you might be feeling, again, that ebb. So when the tide comes in, you're feeling full, you're feeling, fulfillment, emotionally fulfilled, happy, excited about a new direction or a new relationship or a new love. And during that ebb, it's kind of like you're feeling a little bit empty, you're feeling a little bit drained. So it's going to be up to us, Virgo, to refill that cup. But I'm getting this message from Spirit that, there's a necessary void, whatever this void that has been created emotionally or in your love life or in your romantic life, It needs to be filled, and it will be filled. It's just that time period, right? Just like in Bollock, things feel kind of cold. We're kind of in this liminal space, but there's a lot going on underground so that, seedlings and trees and flowers and crops can bloom. And that's the stage that we're in. Really nice. The King of Pentacles, it could be, a sense of a loss of stability. It could be, something that was long term that's coming to an end as well. And then we have the King of Cups, but I love it. The King of Cups is in the upright Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, and the King of Cups is being emotionally fulfilled, being emotionally stable, being very grounded. All right, and then we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. Some of you might have been dealing with somebody who was a bit of a player, somebody who was too idealistic. Now, it could have been you, or it could be the person that you were dealing with. Okay, now if it's you, maybe you were putting unrealistic expectations on a relationship or on a person, or maybe you were working with law of attraction and you were trying to really micromanage. All right, I want to have a new lover or a new partner by, the 5th of February or something like that, or the 28th of January, and things were just, it was too detailed and too micromanaged. So remember, you do have to give time and space to the universe to deliver what it is that's best for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. I love this. I love this whole theme of emergence. I just want you guys to take a look at this. And for those of you who do, who celebrate Imbolic, it's so beautiful. And Imbolic also, just for a little background information, it really venerates the goddess Bridget, the Celtic goddess. And her colors are green, her hair is red. So, this could very well be, an image of Bridget. And Bridget was tricked into thinking that she had killed her own child, if I'm not mistaken, when her child had actually been kidnapped. And so she had to really do a lot of soul searching, because she knew deep down that she hadn't done what they were accusing her of, but she just kind of couldn't prove it, didn't believe it. So it's all about standing in your power, emerging, solar plexus work, stand your ground, set your boundaries. You know better than anybody else, and don't let anybody fool you or get you down, because Virgo, you know who you are. All right, so I love this. I love the sort of this message that I'm getting for this reading. Now, Virgo, here we do have the Hermit card. This is your energy. You are smack dab in the center of your reading, which I love. The Hermit card is the number of 9, which 9, remember, is also is the time of the human gestation period, 9 months to create something. So for some of you, again, remember, you might be at that, in that emerging stage, right? Where the belly is getting big and you're about to birth something or create something new. And this is the message with this card in reverse, that you've been taking your time. You've probably felt or been a little bit isolated, really doing some soul searching, looking for that inner guidance, so that you're about ready to come out and emerge as the new Virgo with your new plan, with your new ideas, okay, or with a brand new relationship. You guys have been asking for, trying to manifest a partner, a twin flame, a soulmate, and it's like, I feel like we're almost there. Right? 9s are of like near completion. Now, what's in your surroundings is we have the 10 of Swords. I am getting here in this reading, Virgo, that you're feeling like something, as I was talking about that ebb that you're experiencing right now, that ebb, that sort of emptiness, the need to sort of refill your own cup. I feel like you're anchored in the energy of an ending. And Spirit is really asking you to shift your focus. Don't pay attention. Don't focus so much on what has ended, but focus on what is beginning. If there's an emptiness, if there's a void, what are you going to fill that void with? Why did this happen? Because this void is meant to be filled with something bigger and better. Okay, but you do, in your surroundings, you do have this sense of an ending, and that cliche of, an ending brings a new beginning, but that's very much the message here of this of this reading, and also with embolic, right? It's cold. For those of us in the northern hemisphere that are experiencing winter, it's cold. The ground is frozen. There's not much to do, that you don't really go out. You kind of hibernate, okay? Just like this hermit card. But what's happening is, and animals that are hibernating, they're building up for spring, for when they can emerge. And Virgo, that's exactly what's going on in your love life. Now, what is blocking you is the Six of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. And the Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, Six of Cups, is all about focusing on what makes you happy, what makes you smile. There's a sense of innocence. There's a sense of nostalgia. Now, your love life might be affected by children, okay? And that might be creating some sort of block for you, but only you will know how that is and how that resonates with you. For others of you, you might be too attached to the past. You might be too focused on something that ended, not focusing enough on what's coming to you. Again, if you're focused too much on what you fear rather than what you want, it's going to anchor you in a negative space, Virgo, and you're not going to manifest what's for your highest good. What's in your foundation? We have the Empress. I absolutely love this card. This is a card of number 3, about growth and expansion. The Empress is a master manifester. Anything and everything she touches turns to gold. Okay, she doesn't have to fight with anybody. She sits so strong in her power. She's so elegant, so poised. She doesn't need to engage in any sort of petty arguments. She's sort of above all of that. She's also, my archetypal image of spring, the springtime goddess, where things are growing. She's sitting in her garden. There's abundance of love, joy, happiness all around her. And Spirit is saying, this is what drives you, Virgo. You guys want to create. You guys want love. She's pregnant. She's always pregnant. And I love this because here, it's saying, Virgo, you guys can create. You have this ability and you will. And February is going to be that time. If we take the metaphor, some of you may actually be pregnant, because I do have the number 9 coming out, that 9 months, and we have the pregnant Empress. But, you guys are in the process of creating. Now, you might not be seeing the results that you want to at the moment, but remember, that's because you're preparing for this ultimate emerging. In your recent past, you guys have the Queen of Wands. This is Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo energy. And the Queen of Wands could be an aspect of yourself, but I am actually seeing that it might be a person in your past that maybe that you feel did a little bit of damage, okay, to you emotionally or in your love life. It does not have to be a woman. Okay, we all have masculine and feminine energies. So remember, we're talking about energy. We're not talking about gender. That gender here is fluid. The Queen of Wands is very social. She's very outgoing. She's very charismatic. She's very attractive. She's very sexual, and she's very magnetic. She's very fiery. She's very dramatic. She's very good with money. She loves to go out, be in the party scene. So it's maybe it was a part of yourself where you were going out a lot. You were on fire, basically. But for some of you, I feel like you ended a relationship with this type of person, okay? Somebody who is very outgoing, very charismatic. And with that charisma, as we saw in our overall energy cards, we did see that Knight of Cups in reverse. And again, somebody with a lot of charisma that maybe wasn't going to stick around. All right. There could also be some sort of sexual healing attached to this, right? Because she's a very sexually oriented, sexually magnetic persona of the tarot. And it could have been that somebody just came into your life very quickly and then they left very quickly as well. Now, remember that we do have in mid-February, but we're starting a little bit earlier, the shadow periods of Mercury in retrograde. So you may have people from the past coming into your life and they may not stick around, okay? Or you might meet people and it might be just for a very physical, sexual, intimate purpose. But during Mercury retrograde is not the greatest time to start a new relationship, okay? So do keep that in mind. But it is also, some of you might be waiting for a reunion, okay? And some of you might be waiting for a reunion with this Queen of Wands energy. All right, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy. Now, what's crowning you guys? Again, more Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, this Eight of Cups. I love the fact that we have this full moon coming out because we do have the full moon in Leo coming up very shortly. Okay, and this is all about you leaving something behind, an old way of being, an old way of thinking, an old relationship. Okay, something from the past, something that was holding you back. Again, we have this 10 of Swords, this ending. We also have the 6 of Cups. My 6 of Cups card can also be a soulmate relationship, which could be a karmic completion where you've learned a lesson with somebody. Maybe it was with this Queen of Wands, maybe not. And you're really committed to moving forward. You're very committed to finding that 9th cup, your happiness, your wish fulfillment. And that's what you're going to be doing in February. Now, your outcome energy for this reading is the 7 of Swords, which is Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy, which we also have here with your 10 of Swords in your surroundings. And the 7 of Swords is kind of it's a nasty card when it's in the upright. Thankfully, yours came out in the reverse. It's when somebody's taking from you, somebody's lying to you, someone's deliberately hiding something from you. Now, remember my Queen of Wands energy, she can also often be a mistress card or a third person card, right? A third party card. So some of you may have been involved in a third party card that led to an ending, or you're in the midst of this ending and you're definitely walking away from it. Okay, because we have the Empress and the Queen of Wands, which both can talk about, that third party situation. You not being able to create something with someone that you wanted to because there was a third party. Now remember, third parties don't always have to be people, but here I am seeing that it most likely was, if it's resonating with you. But what's happening with the 7 of Swords in reverse is it takes me back to the 6 of Swords. And I love that because you're crowned by this energy of going after your wish fulfillment, no matter what it is you have to leave behind, because you're definitely experiencing an ending and you're emerging from that sort of being anchored in that negative energy. And you're sort of emerging from this Wheel of Fortune in reverse, feeling that real ebb in your life rather than the flows. Okay. And you're emerging from a time period of feeling drained emotionally, spiritually, in your love life, overgiving, etc. And now it's time for you to fill your cup. And we do have that 9th cup right here, right? You're going after it. You're filling your cups back up. You want stability. You want love, whether that stability and that love is with yourself or with another person. But things are becoming very, very clear for you. And the 7 of Swords, something is going to be revealed for you. And oftentimes that happens during the full moon. So during this full moon period that we have in Leo coming up, I believe it's on the 9th of February, you should really pay attention to what you're learning, what's coming to light. And it's gonna show you something that was hidden from you. And it's going to give you or trigger you to walk away or move forward on your own journey to look for your wish fulfillment, Virgo. Okay, and I really, really like that energy. Remember the 6 of Cups, not the 6 of Cups, the 6 of Swords is all about moving out of choppy waters into a much better place. So for some of you who are in a relationship, things are something that may have been hidden from you, a person's emotions, maybe something they were doing. For some of you, it might be a third party situation, but I don't want you to, run out and get scared and be like, my partner's cheating on me. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Okay. It could be that you guys just need to clear up some, you need to clear up something in order to take your relationship to the next level. All right. So it's an even playing field. For others of you, you're walking away from this energy. You're walking away from a relationship that no longer served you, a relationship that's over. And for others of you, you guys are doing the shadow work and the inner work, and you're really, you're taking down, you are destroying previous toxic behavior patterns, and you're recovering from some maybe bad choices or thought patterns that have been affecting you negatively as far as love and relationships are concerned. All right, Virgo, so I'm going to go ahead and pull a few more cards from the Energy Oracle. What additional messages do we have for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs? All right, the Temple Path. I love it. 1 and 2 adds up to a 3. Okay, so we have 2 3s on the ground. All right. And the Temple Path is is Spirit telling you you're on the right path. Not only are you on the right path, this is one of my favorite cards in this deck, but you are surrounded by, you have spiritual guidance. If you can quiet the noise, if you still and you quiet yourself to receive the messages from your angels, your spirit guides, and from Spirit, your ancestors, even your loved ones who have passed, they're going to show you what steps you need to take. Okay. They're also telling me that you are, you're not alone on this journey. So whatever ending that you guys are experiencing, whatever you're walking away from, don't focus on what you're walking away from. Focus on what you are walking towards. Okay. All right, community. We have number 7. I love this. Again, we saw that the 7 cards, the community. This is also, it reminds me of another oracle card that we have that's called Sisters of the Seasons, which is all about, the gestation period. We have summer, winter, spring, and fall. All right, we do only have 3 women here, but they're all sort of very distinct. And, and just giving the universe and yourself time to heal and to recover. Every ending brings a new beginning, but there also needs to be a bit of a healing period. This is also a reminder for you guys, this community, that you're not alone on this path. So you have spiritual guidance, your spirit guides, and Spirit all joining you, telling you you're on the right path. This also may be that, during this time of Aquarius, before we move into Pisces season, is a really great time to, to interact with big groups. It's not big groups, but see yourself, how you relate to larger groups, and also to check in with your friends and your family that you do have support here. Okay, so even if you are feeling a little bit alone, if you're feeling down on your luck, okay, if you're feeling exhausted, make sure that you recognize who is supporting you. All right, here we have number 22. We have yin yang. All right, and I love this because for me, for a lot of you, especially with the 6 of Cups card coming out, you guys are going to be meeting someone who is your other half. All right, this is balance. This is, divine masculine meeting up with divine feminine. And number 22 is a very powerful master number. It's considered the most powerful number. And it has to do with building legacy, spiritual ideals, and selfless service, which to me sounds a lot like Virgo, because my Virgos, you guys are the sign of service. It's the number of the master builder, and it also correlates with peace and harmony. As well with building, patience, and hard work is required, right? But it's like, this is like you meeting that person. I see this yin yang as that seed, right? The seed that's about to emerge after we come out of this wintry period, or after we have this ebb, you're about to experience a flow, all right? So really nice. And number 22 and the number 2 for me is also that card of that, of that twin flame, that soulmate, meeting someone who you will feel completes you. Although nobody actually completes you, you complete yourself, Virgo. Okay. All right, and then here we have number 10, we have storm warning. Yeah, so Spirit doesn't want me to make this reading all, unicorns and rainbows and beauty, because we do have this 10 of Swords. Okay, and with this 10 of Swords, this is in your surroundings, and you can see that there's a storm going on here. And Spirit, these are 2 10s coming out. 10s are about completions. There is something that you have to let go of, Virgo. It might not be really pleasant. It could be a relationship. Okay, it could get a little bit nasty. There could be some fights. It could be a part of yourself that you have to let go that's going to be very difficult, and really working with that shadow side, right? So it's, so it is saying there is this warning, though. It's not quite upon you. You can avoid it, okay? But in your surroundings, there is something that needs to be dealt with that isn't going to be quite pleasant. I'm getting discussions. I'm getting arguments. Someone may have to move out, okay? Additional messages for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs for February 2020. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Yeah. So again, some of you might be with a codependent partner. Some of my Virgos out there, you may have or be dealing with somebody who's struggling with addictions. Remember, addictions don't have to just be alcohol. They can be food, they can be internet, okay? They can be many different things. Or it could be just somebody who's not independent within the relationship. And one of you or both of you, if you're in a relationship, are now codependent on each other. Okay, and with this yin yang symbol and with this balance, you know, sometimes it can be hard to see where one begins and one ends, but it is very important that you do that. Okay, and that might be some tough work. Okay, some tough shadow work that you guys might have to do, or your partner might have to do. But remember, when we talk about shadow work and we talk about changing behaviors, you can only be responsible for changing your own behavior. You cannot be responsible and should not try, okay, to change other people's behaviors, okay, within reason, right? Not saying you can't suggest or you can't set your boundaries, okay? But what I'm saying is you can't be responsible for how other people are behaving. You can only be responsible for changing your own behavior. Okay, and we have deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Yep. And we see that that's coming right out on top of the Seven of Swords energy. This will be revealed. Okay. So again, it's really important to go inward. All right. As we see you guys in that Hermit energy, it's really important that you do some shadow work here, Virgo. If you feel like it might be yourself, you might not be standing in your authenticity. You may not be speaking your truth, or it might be a person that you're dealing with. Okay. Only you guys will know. And now when I say that, you know, we're all guilty of it. And when I say guilty, I'm not accusing you guys of doing anything, you know, wrong or anything bad, because sometimes we do it without knowing. You know, when we say, oh, it's okay, when we kind of let people cross our boundaries, when we don't set our own boundaries, and before we know it, we're not living in our authenticity, and we're letting somebody mistreat us, or, you know, we find ourselves in a situation that we don't like because we never spoke up, right? So take a look at it and make sure, you know, you're very clear. Maybe it's you who's wearing the false self mask. Maybe you need to, because I am getting this real importance for you guys to still yourselves, quiet, listen, really take a good hard look. If you are in a relationship, you know, what's going on? What role do you have to play in that? Now, this is definitely not saying don't take on guilt and shame, okay? And it doesn't mean that you're bad, because it very well could be the other person, right? But, you know, doing some soul searching during this sort of period where things are kind of quiet and dark and still and feel a little bit cold, so that you can emerge, you know, the most beautiful version of yourself. Okay, so doing that sort of internal virus scan and just checking to see, are you standing in your authenticity? Are you speaking your truth, right? Or is it the other person, right? So for a lot of you, it's going to be the other person, but just for one or two of us, we have to have that, you know, have that conversation, right? And that's a conversation I've had to have with myself many times. You know, because remember, Virgos are the card of service, the sign of service, right? And we want to please people. You know, that makes us happy. But then all of a sudden, when we're pleasing someone else more than ourselves, or we're giving more than we're receiving, that's not our authenticity, and that can really breed resentment. Okay. Water flight. Okay. Heaviness lifts, burdens are cast away, and weightlessness. I love that. This is you. This is a major ascension, right? And I love the fact that it comes on top of this temple path, because this is you on the right path. But once you're able to sort of cut loose, get over this ending, once you're able, you know, because you have the Empress in your foundation, she's all about creating. She's all about movement. And for me, this water flight, this is Aquarius energy. Right? Aquarius is the water bearer. You know, it's an air sign that carries water. And this is you being able to move on to bigger and better. Okay? If that's with a person or that's on your own. All right? And then we have guide, a mentor, a trustworthy ally. Yeah, I love that. That falls on top of your community card. So again, please take a look around you who can support you in this situation. Okay, if you feel like you need it. And if there's not anybody here in the 3D, if there's not anybody, your friends or your family, that you feel like, yes, can be your guide or your mentor. Also, I want to say though, with the Hermit card coming out, some of you might be guides and mentors at this time. And some of you might be meeting somebody new, or hearing somebody, listening to like a new reader on YouTube, or, maybe meeting somebody who tells you something that really you find enlightening, or, sort of leads to an aha moment for you. Okay, so any of those above, and I'm not just saying that because you guys are listening to, to my channel. I'm saying that, but this is somebody, somebody who you can, who will give you the advice that you need, or is going to tell you things that are going to help you in this ascension and on your path. And remember, you guys, we are always on a path of happiness, no matter what's happening, right? And you're completely supported by your spirit guides and by spirit. All right, so you're never alone. I'm going to pull just a few, I'm going to pull you 3 messages from these little heart cards that we have here. All right. They're a little bit tough to shuffle, so just bear with me. Virgo, I like this though. I mean, it's like it hasn't been easy. The beginning of 2020 hasn't been easy for a lot of us, and a lot of signs are getting this. And we all have like really, really high hopes for 2020. But there's like some of this residual baggage or shadow energy, or, things that we kind of have to deal with. As soon as it hit 2020 doesn't mean like poof, all of the work was done for us, right? And we're still sort of, a lot of us and a lot of different signs are getting similar messages. It's time to sort of clean out the closet. It's time to, come to grips with, leave behind what doesn't work for you anymore, right? So you can move on to bigger and better, because 2020 you will be really supported in doing so. All right, but it doesn't mean it happens automatically. All right, so we've got your 3 messages, Virgo. All right, so take a look. My beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united. For love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. Oh, yeah. So Virgo, again, I'm really picking up with that yin and yang. Some of you guys are calling in a soulmate. For others of you guys, you're waiting for a reunion, and that reunion very well may happen during Mercury retrograde, right? Okay, it could be a reunion with somebody you knew from your childhood or from your past, a past love, or it could be a soulmate, somebody from a past life. All right, let's take a look at this. Romance, Cupid's arrow strikes. Boom, Virgo. Some of you might be having a very romantic Valentine's Day, but there's some love here. You do have to go through some endings. You guys have to do the work, but I feel like, this is really nice. You guys, a lot of you are going to have new love emerging. Wait, don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. Yes, exactly what I was saying with the Sisters of the Seasons, this gestation period. You may have met somebody, but you guys might be in separation and might be taking things really slow. Okay, but it is definitely developing into a new relationship. Some of you need to get out of a relationship before this new relationship begins, or before you meet that person. But Virgo, this has actually turned out to be a very romantic reading. All right, but you will need some patience. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading as much as I have. I think it's excellent. I think the messages are really awesome. The messages are also very down to earth, just like us Virgos like it. There's some things we have to clean up, in our emotional house. All right, in our spiritual house, but we're on the right path, and we're on the path to love, okay? So please give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, comment, share. Don't forget to ring that bell if you guys want to get updates. And remember that I love you guys. Thank you for listening, and I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful February.